Hey everyone, Mortgage Nerd here. I want to talk to you about a serious issue that's going on in the industry. It's called occupancy fraud. What are different forms of occupancy on your property? Primary residence, second home, investment property. There are three main forms of occupancy. Fraud is when you say you're going to do one of those and you don't do it, you do a different one. So for example, you say you're going to buy a primary residence, you close on June 20th, and on June 29th, you list it for rent. When you sign the closing documents, you are signing stating that this is going to be your primary residence. You're going to move into this property within 60 days. You're going to live there for at least a year. You're not going to rent it out. So if you rent it out 9 days after closing, you've misrepresented yourself. Unfortunately, you've committed mortgage fraud. And if you don't think so, just go talk to a judge and find out. You don't want to be there. But there are other forms. Let's say you buy a second home, because it used to be that second homes would give you a better interest rate than an investment, but not anymore. It's the same interest rate as an investment now. But there are still other benefits to it, like a smaller down payment. Let's say you buy something as a second home, but then you immediately start renting it for an entire year. You could get in trouble for that too, because as a second home, you're supposed to live there part of the year. It doesn't need to be the whole year. It doesn't even need to be half the year, but at least you go there for a month, whatever it is, to go spend your vacation time. And you could rent short term like Airbnb and things like that. But here's another one that a lot of people don't think about. There's a DSCR loan, or an investor cash flow loan. What that does is it allows someone to buy a property as their investment and not use their personal income to qualify. So I go and I buy an investment property, and that property has income. I use that income to qualify for my mortgage because I don't have enough income to qualify with my income. That's what that loan is for. But how could people do fraud on that? If you don't have enough income to buy your primary residence and you go and you say, hey, I'm going to do a DSCR loan and use the cash flow of the property to qualify, it needs to stay as an investment. You need to rent that out as an investment property. But if you turn around and move into it because you didn't qualify as a primary residence, then it's occupancy fraud, just like the other examples, but it's kind of backwards from the normal one that we always look at, which is someone saying it's their primary residence and they end up investing. Now the DSCR interest rate is higher than a primary residence, so that doesn't quite make sense. But again, if someone doesn't qualify for their income to buy a primary residence, they might do that and get in trouble for occupancy fraud. Maybe they'll get away with it, but why do you want to risk it? Do the right thing from the beginning and everybody will be happy. Mortgage Nerd out.